Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Hello to our Practical Magic family. Happy Thursday, happy new day. It is the only Thursday, July 14th, 2022, you will ever experience. Every day is different and new. And what if you approached every day that way? I wanted to jump in here and share with you some inspiration I was experiencing that I got a hit with today. So excited. I tune in and have a morning ritual each and every morning where I spend time releasing old stories, encoding the day, creating, tuning into the frequencies that I choose to live. You know, all of the frequencies are always available to you. And we get into a rut, right? Like we wake up and we honestly are remembering who we are. What is today? What happens today? Oh, it's Thursday. It's not even Friday yet. Or you're remembering, right? Or what does it take to get you out of bed? You have to think about that first cup of coffee. Are you waking up in total appreciation and gratitude and with infinite possibilities to create whatever you want? Most people are not. Most people are not waking up that way. Most people are on autopilot, absolutely on autopilot. That is so amazing. And Megan and I were talking this morning and just talking about how incredible the human mind is. And the human mind is so pliable. The human mind is so it's pliable, right? It's like clay. And typically, most people are being, their mind is being affected by mass media, right? So, what I want to tune in here today is when you are choosing to create your life, when you're choosing to create your experiences, your results, your life is a canvas. It is your art. It is your creation. And when we choose to create something, and I see this so much in the spiritual community, is that we think we're in line creating exactly what we want when there's a blind spot, right? We have so many blind spots because if you understand how the brain works, the brain fills in what we're not seeing. So it takes what we know from the past and puts it in what we're seeing right now. So we have so many blind spots as humans. And if you, Megan talked about this a little bit using an example of how we don't see what's right in front of us. So the example is when you want to create something like belonging in your life, you want to create the sense of belonging. Oh, I belong. I want to feel like I belong. And we're taking action every day that actually validates that we don't belong. But it's an action that we've taken for years, maybe decades, and we don't recognize that that action is actually anchoring in the idea that we don't belong. Or if you want to create greater prosperity and infinite abundance in your life, you may be affirming that, you may be visualizing that, but your day-to-day action is a penny saved is a penny earned, right? You're actually living from that frequency. But you've been living it for so long that it's actually become a blind spot. You don't even recognize that that is what you're doing. You may be wanting to create greater intimacy and closeness in your relationships, and yet your daily action is a habituated action that actually puts space between you and others, right? So, and you don't even see it, and the people around you don't even see it because they see this as who you are, and you don't even recognize it. So those blind spots are running your life, and it really takes someone outside of you to go, oh, I see how you're doing this. One example, we have myriad examples of this from our last Walking Between Worlds group, because we developed this Walking Between Worlds to create a container in which you have set a sole purpose project. You've set a goal to be completed in a certain amount of time. And when there's that kind of pressure, right, there's excitement, but there's also pressure. And when that pressure comes up, then all of your blind spots are going to come up, right? Those go-to behaviors that you've developed over your lifetime, and probably really they began before you were 7 years old, right? And you've anchored those in over a lifetime. You don't even recognize them, but they are the obstacles that get in the way of you manifesting and creating the extraordinary results that you want to have. And so you just simply, I will say it, you cannot do it on your own because you have those blind spots. It's just like driving in your car and you've got the blind spot of a car driving right back here. You either have to turn or you have to have a special mirror, right? And in Walking Between Worlds Ascension, Megan become your special mirror so that we can help you see, oh, like listen to what you just said. Here's what you've been living decade after decade. It truly takes I want to say there's people here. Hi, Liz. Hi, Liz. So good to see you here. And it definitely takes somebody else to see your blind spot. And so Megan and I absolutely adore Walking Between Worlds. This was our heart child for the beginning of 2022. I remember Megan and I sitting on her sofa, and she had her new twin babies, and we were talking about what Walking Between Worlds would look like and how we could serve our clients to the highest, right? And it was so funny. She had just had new baby twins and she wasn't feeling well. And we discovered later that she actually had COVID. And I was right there. I never got it. But it was just, we were just heart mapping this and saying, how do we serve our clientele the highest? We want to create a container that just accelerates transformation and awakening and self-trust and within our clients, and an awakening to how magic and powerful our clients are. And going through the process with our clients in that first Walking Between Worlds was more magical than we could have ever imagined. And Megan and I fell in love with it because we could dive deep with everyone. We could dive deep. Now, our previous programs in Sophia Mystery School were amazing, but they were working at the more what's the word? Not as deep or advanced, at the less advanced, scratching the surface a little bit more. And Megan and I work deep. We see, okay, here's the source of the issue. Megan's reading the quantum field and quantum timelines for each client to really support in creating the results they want. Bottom line is, whatever your soul purpose project becomes, whether it's deepening the relationship with your husband, creating a more self-loving relationship with yourself, hitting a financial goal, writing that book, starting a business, renovating. You know, we had one client, my mom, renovating her cabin. Whatever your soul purpose project is, what it becomes, what gets to transform is you. We transform. So whatever your vision, whatever you have in the quantum field here, it would be here if you resonated with it. So this whole process in approximately 12 weeks is aligning you becoming aligned with your soul purpose project, becoming aligned with that vision. We had the great example of another one of our clients. Her soul purpose project had been to make $30,000 in her own business in those 3 months. Well, as we worked and as we dove deep with her, it became obvious that that was not a soul purpose project. It was actually an ego goal. What was underneath that goal was wanting to prove herself as valuable, as worthy. And she had put the number of $30,000 to prove her worthiness. And so when we shifted, when we realigned, I was like, oh, your true soul purpose project is this. And it was around self-love and creating joy in her life. She had said, you know, what had happened is she had put joy behind the $30,000. Oh, I can be joyful when my business is creating this, or I deserve to be joyful when I hold that value. And when we shifted her soul purpose project to be all about her and finding joy and aligning with her innate worthiness, right? Before the 3 months was up, her husband received a $30,000 bonus that they did not even expect. They had no idea that it was coming. And so this is the deep work, right? We're not working up here in the surface. It's not surface self-improvement. It's not spiritual bypassing. It's truly embodying the spiritual laws that are here to support us in having everything, all of our desires and all of our requirements, everything that we need in the moment, right? So I wanted to jump in here and just share that with you and invite you to book a call with me. Let's talk about, if you feel like, wow, I want to make these next 3 months, August through October, really count, really transform me. And to stop living from my blind spots. You know, we don't know what we don't know. We don't see what we don't see. And it takes someone outside of us. And here's the bottom line. The earth is ascending. We're going through a bifurcation. You are choosing in every moment, whether you're choosing the ascended earth, the living in joy, being completely sovereign, creating your own economy. That is happening right now. And so with every decision you make, you are choosing your frequency. And so if you're making decisions out of limitation, out of fear, out of not having clarity, whatever that is, if you're not moving to expansion, you're moving to contraction. And that's why Megan and I absolutely love our Walking Between Worlds program. This time it's called Walking Between Worlds Ascension, is because we are guiding you and leading you to choose expansion in every moment. Recognize those blind spots. Oh, I was unconsciously choosing contraction. So Tori's going to put my scheduling link. You can jump on my calendar and we can talk about what your soul purpose project could look like and what it looks like to come into Walking Between Worlds Ascension and have a close-knit coaching experience at a very affordable investment level for the next 3 months with Megan and I. So Tori will put that link in there. There it is. I wanted to read some comments. There's Liz. Where are my glasses? Let's see. Liz says, Absolutely. We get to live in flow and abundance, and then we attract even more flow and abundance throughout our lives. 360, that's right. That is right. So thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this replay, please hashtag replay. And I look forward to talking with you and seeing what is possible. Infinite possibilities, absolutely. See you. Tune in for Higher Perspectives at noon Pacific time today, where we're going to go deep into mass hypnosis. See you there. Bye for now.